Hello. In our service today, we're thinking about how we can grow even in these challenging times. And Nathan asked if I could share my experience of how that can happen. As I thought about it, I realised that very often we don't realise that we are growing when we're in the middle of something. It's only later when we look back that we can see that we have come quite a long way. A friend of mine, Sally, sadly lost her husband 3 weeks ago. And I've been in touch with her. And she said to me, I only hope that I have your strength in the months to come. And I was quite surprised by that. Because as you know, I lost my husband 4 years ago. And certainly at the time he died, I didn't feel secure at all. I felt like I'd been cut adrift, like I was a little boat bobbing about in a really stormy sea, and I just felt totally lost. But very soon I came to realise that actually I wasn't cut adrift, I was anchored. Yes, the sea was rough and I was bobbing about for some time, but I was anchored. God had got hold of me in the midst of that difficult time, and gradually he brought me into harbour and into calmer waters, and I learned to adjust and to live my life differently. But at the time it was happening, I certainly didn't feel that I was growing. And yet Sally witnessed my journey and said to me, I only hope that I can have your strength. And I believe that what she saw was my trust in God, which enabled me not to be over anxious about the future, but just to hold on and know that he would bring me through. And I pray that she will find that to be true for her in these coming months. I learned, I suppose, to count my blessings and to look at the positives, to be thankful for the years I had with Tony rather than the years that I wouldn't have. And that kind of attitude, I think, helped me to get through that difficult time. And when I think about now and what's happening, I think God has put me in a new place. So I feel that what he's calling me to do now is to minister to my neighbours, to be church, if you like, in the street where I live, and to represent Jesus in the street where I live. So when the lockdown was announced, I put those little cards that Sally Ann sent us through the doors of my neighbours. There's 21 houses in this close where I live. And a few people texted me back and said, oh, thanks for that, that's really kind, but we're fine. And then one family texted and said, oh, our son's come back from university, he's not very well, so we're self-isolating. And actually, there's a few bits and pieces we need. And if someone was able to do a bit of shopping and collect some medication for us, that would be really helpful. So we were able to do that for that family. And because of the responses I got, I set up a WhatsApp group for our close. And that's become great. So if someone's going to the shops, they'll say, oh, I'm off to Asda or I'm off to Marks and Spencer's. Anybody need anything? And we've been able to reduce the number of shopping trips and just help each other out. We've shared little funny stories, some of the memes that have come around. And then I even got brave enough to share the link to our Sunday service. And last Saturday, I invited everybody to a socially distanced coffee morning. So we sat at the end of the close where I live, and we all were a suitable distance apart. Everybody brought their own garden chair and their own mug of coffee, and I made a few cakes, and we sat there and enjoyed each other's company for well over an hour. And people were talking to people they'd never spoken to before. There's a new family who've moved in, and the lady came down and she was able to introduce herself, and we were able to talk to her, and it was just a great time of getting to know people and just sharing community in a way I've not experienced in the 13 years I've lived here. People are very polite and they'll say hello and they're all very nice, but everybody keeps themselves pretty much to themselves. And so what I've seen in this time is people opening up and a sense of community developing. And then last night, because the coffee morning went so well, people said, oh, when we come out to do our clapping, let's come out early and we'll have a glass of wine and we'll have another chat. And so that's what we did last night. And it was great. Now, I haven't yet been able to talk to them directly about Jesus. But if they ask afterwards why I did this, I'll be able to tell them that I just wanted to show Jesus' love to them. And sometimes people just notice the things that we do and the way we are. That's enough. So I think for us to show that we're not overly anxious at the moment, because we have a God who is bigger than this situation, who we can trust in to bring us through, I think that is a really powerful testimony for some people who are really anxious and struggling. So is God growing me? Well, yes, I think he probably is. I think he's given me a new ministry here amongst my neighbours to show his love. And he's perhaps given me more boldness in my interaction with them and the things that I'm saying to them and sharing with them. And I pray that that will lead to more opportunities in the future. So I encourage you to be bold and just show Jesus' love to those that you come into contact with at this time. God bless you.